Ours is not a physical or a mental exhaustion, it's actually an overwhelming thing that really builds upon our brains and our emotions. It preys on them and it exhausts them so much because we watch so much social media, because we consume so many things. We're overwhelmed by information, overwhelmed by emotional content, and we're overwhelmed by so many things, that bombarded with information. And of course, our brains, our little brains, really have a hard time doing and processing all of that information. But at the same time, no matter how many things you eliminate, no matter how many things you start just denying yourself, you realize that by denying those things to yourself, you haven't really solved your solution, because you're ostracizing yourself. You're taking yourself out of society. You're making your life boring. You're making your life as if it was 100 years ago. And you really have to realize that that is not really a solution. You have to understand that what there is another part that really makes us exhausted in the modern era. It has made us exhausted for the longest time, but nowadays it's even more pronounced because we are really bombarded emotionally and mentally by content, by so much information that we cannot do anything with it but exhaust ourselves and our capacities. And you have to understand that that thing that really holds us back is biology. We conserve energy, and we think we conserve energy because we are batteries. We have some sort of electronic battery that holds us and keeps us going. And we don't want to cycle that battery. We don't want to ruin it by using it too much. We don't want to use too much fuel. But you have to understand that that was built back when we had real threats to our survival. Nowadays, if you live in a city or a town or whatever, those threats are gone. We live in the most unthreatening environment of them all. We live in a society that's so safe that we can do so many things that we don't need to do as little as possible. But our brains, our emotions, our bodies really want to expand as little energy as possible. And you see, when I say it's an electronic battery, it's really the opposite. The less you use it, our minds and our bodies are so efficient that they cut those things off. The excess, it gets cut off. So you can say and you can see the abilities that you had. If you did a sport, once you stop using it, it just goes away. It melts away, the muscle, the ability, everything. It just melts away because you are not expanding it. You are not using it. So understand that everything is built that way. We are not electronic batteries. We are organic ones. And organic ones, the more we use them, the more capacity they build. No matter what age you are, no matter what you do, the answer is to add more to your calendar, not subtract. The moment that you subtract is the moment that you feel empty and you feel even more drained. You feel you go sick. There have been studies about this, that people, when they retire, they get more sick. They get more frail because they stopped doing work. Their mental health deteriorates because they feel like they have no more purpose. So you have to understand that in order to expand your energy and not feel exhausted all the goddamn time, you have to put more things on your calendar. And the more you expand your energy, the more you understand. I know it sounds ridiculous because you feel like you've been putting so much effort and that's why you feel exhausted. But I'm telling you, you've been putting the least amount of effort. If you put the most amount of effort every single day, in a month from now, a year from now, you will feel so much energy that other people will feel overwhelmed and you will feel amazing. All of these emotions, all of this excitement, adventure, Your whole life will change if you understand that the way that you expand your energy throughout the day is by exhausting it, is by doing as much as possible every single day so that you get better, you get more, you get stronger every single day. And it's exactly like a sport. You build stamina to do that thing. Or you can view it as a strength sport. You build more power to lift more. You understand? It's all of these things combined. Plus, there is another thing that we really don't take into account. Whenever we feel bad emotions and we really attach ourselves to them, we drain ourselves so much because we have to manage those emotions. And of course, we cannot focus on the things that we have to do and we want to do because we have to manage these emotions. That's why happy, content, fulfilled people who feel like they have meaning in their life, they can do so much more. They can work 12-hour days. They can work day and night. They can have 2 jobs and also a family. They can do all of these things. They can perform at their best and also seem to have a personal life. They can do all of these things because they don't have to manage these states, these bad, frustrating states. They don't have to put half of their energy into trying to get themselves out of bed, into trying to, and the more, that is one of the things, if you really go, I've done so many videos about emotions, but you have to understand this one thing. The bedrock of changing your mind, the quality of your thinking, and the quality of your emotions, the bedrock is always action. It is not by thinking more or feeling more or understanding. It is not through logic, but action. Just start walking faster and you will change the way that you think. You will change the way that you feel. You will feel more determined. You will think things that are more succinct, better, just to the point. You will feel that determination just because you started to walk 50% faster, just because you started to put that energy into each step that you do. Start walking faster and prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that you are not going to feel more determined if you walk faster. If you just walk like this all day and you just sit in your chair and you watch your shit on your phone, of course you're gonna feel bad. You're just draining yourself. You're just pretending like you are a zombie. Start moving. Start doing things. Start expanding as much energy because that's the point. There is no real point. Please tell me, what's the point of conserving energy? We have no apparent reason for conserving energy. We get the same amount the next day when we wake up. There is literally no reason to not expand as much energy throughout the day as possible. You're gonna say, but if I do, I'm gonna feel even more exhausted. No, you're not. You're actually gonna feel pumped up. You're gonna feel like you have so much more to give because you've done this over and over and over again. And now you can expand so much more. You feel like you're coasting. You feel like you can do so many things because when you do these kinds of things, you build more energy. You don't feel exhausted. And then you can participate in all of these things that you want, social media, watching TV shows, watching the news, without really getting overwhelmed because you've made the bedrock of everything, taking as much action as possible. So whenever you are watching something, it's not going to drain you because you have ways of putting yourself back on the horse and starting to run and engage with life and really become present and detach from all of these things because you've taken action and you've expanded energy and now you're not just A person who's out of balance and always weak on their feet. You can't be pushed over. You have real life inside of you. You have strength to hold your own. So whenever things happen in your life, you know that you can do all of these things. You know that you really can change. You can manifest, not manifest. I hate that word. You can enact change. Thank you for watching and see you tomorrow.